Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to guide you through Form W-4, breaking down its essentials and showing you how to complete it accurately. Form W-4, formerly known as the Employee's Withholding Certificate, plays a critical role in determining the amount of federal tax withheld from your paycheck. This directly influences both your take-home pay and your tax situation at year's end. Once you've completed the form, you'll submit it to your employer, who will then use the details you provide to calculate the appropriate amount of tax to withhold from each paycheck. Filling it out correctly is vital, and that's exactly what I'm here to help you with today. You should complete a new Form W-4 whenever you start a new job or go through a significant life change, like getting married or having children. Such changes can alter your tax obligations, making it essential to update the form so it accurately reflects your current circumstances. Now, let's go through a simple example to understand how to fill out Form W-4. Imagine a single taxpayer with one job and no dependents. The first step is to provide your personal information, including your full name, address, and social security number. Next, you'll select your filing status by checking the appropriate box. In this case, the taxpayer would select Single or Married Filing Separately. If you're married or qualify as the head of household, you'd choose one of those options instead. The next section addresses multiple jobs or a working spouse. This step only applies if you have more than one job or your spouse is employed. For our example, since the taxpayer has just one job and is single, this section can be skipped. If you need guidance on completing this step for more complex situations, feel free to let me know, and I'll create a detailed explanation for you. Step 3 focuses on claiming dependents. If your income is below $200,000 or $400,000 for married couples filing jointly, you can claim dependents. You'll multiply the number of children under 17 by $2,000 to account for the child tax credit. For example, with one child, you'd enter $2,000. With two children, you'd enter $4,000. For other dependents, you multiply by $500 each, such as elderly parents you're supporting. For instance, if you care for two elderly parents, you'd enter $1,000, $500 per parent. In our scenario, the taxpayer has no dependents, so this section remains blank. Step 4 is for additional adjustments. The first part lets you report other income not subject to withholding, like interest, dividends, or retirement income. Failing to include this income, if significant, could lead to a large tax bill and possible penalties. Since our example taxpayer doesn't have such income, we'll leave this section blank. The second part is for deductions. If you plan to itemize instead of taking the standard deduction, you can enter the difference between your itemized deductions and the standard deduction here. People typically itemize if they own a home, pay mortgage interest, make substantial charitable donations, or have high medical expenses. In our example, the taxpayer opts for the standard deduction, so this section is left blank. The last part of this step allows you to request extra withholding. This is optional and can be helpful if you anticipate owing more taxes for any reason. However, in this example, it isn't necessary. After completing all these steps, you'll simply sign and date the form before handing it to your employer. It's crucial to fill out Form W-4 accurately because errors can lead to either overwithholding or underwithholding. Overwithholding might result in a hefty refund, which may seem like a win, but it essentially means you've provided the IRS with an interest-free loan. For instance, receiving a $3,000 refund means you've given up access to that money throughout the year, money that could have been invested or used for other purposes. Conversely, underwithholding can lead to penalties and interest if you owe taxes at the end of the year. And that wraps up our walkthrough of a basic Form W-4 example. I hope you found this explanation helpful.